Hi, I'm Iris from Cashmere Goat in Camden, Maine, and this is Isla.
Hi.
Isla and I are the Sunday team here at the Goat. We have a lot of fun on Sundays with our groups, and we're here today with a special video. We are going to be talking about a really super great pattern that's popular. That is this one. It is PetiteKnit's Holiday Slipover. I'm gonna just boost up our girl here a little bit so you can see it features this really cool like drop hem. Just a really fun bulky weight vest pattern that's been super popular, and I invited Isla on because she's knit 3 of these.
It's true.
And so like first, Isla, can you tell us about what kind of drew you to the pattern in the first place?
So the thing that I love, the 2 features were, I love the large open armhole, and I also just love, I wanted to go with a little bit more of a tunic-y style vest. So I'm not sure if I went a little bit longer than the pattern or not, but I like the side slits and the little bit longer length. And so that drew me to it, and I just took off with Rasta as my first project.
And this color is Molino, which I think was maybe a new color right around when you were first starting. And it's one of those Malabrigo skeins where I think a lot of us, when it first came in, we looked at it and we're like, I wonder how that is gonna be knit up. And when we started seeing people knit it up, it like just does such a gorgeous, almost like, you know, harvest corn or something like that.
It actually went through 3 different phases, from when it was in its skein form, then when it was wound up into the ball, it looked a little bit different in coloring, and then actually knit up, it changed again. And I love how it turned out.
So tell us about this one. This is version number 1.
Yes. So this first one, I did stay basically true to the pattern. I did find that as I was picking up my stitches along the armhole area, and especially at the underarm, I knew there was just a lot of bulk with Rasta, and so I ended up doing fewer stitches being picked up along here. Overall, I think I just did 4 less, so I kind of picked up every other stitch in this bottom area, and then I might have gone a little bit longer with the back hem. But other than that, and then I also did fewer rounds of ribbing, both at the collar and at the neckline and on the sides.
And just like come a little closer so they can see your beautiful, like, you know, this is that gorgeous tubular bind off here. And was this a new technique for you, the tubular bind off?
Yes, it was one of those bind offs where I had to watch a video several times. I had to put notes in my journal. And then as I was going through it, I actually was keeping a sticky note at each little row, because it requires a tapestry needle that you're binding off.
The finish is just so neat, so clever. So that's version 1.
That's version 1.
So here we are, we're back, and we're with version number 2 of Holiday Slipover with Isla. But I also, before we get into that, wanted to just give a little close-up of here's the hem, just so you can see that it's so soft, so beautiful. Okay, so tell us about this next iteration of the holiday.
So this is knit with Usha, and what had happened was I had done my Rasta. There was a sample done for the store in Usha, and I fell in love with it. The only thing that I did notice was I wasn't enjoying how the arms were laying for the sample, and so I decided, instead of having a larger armhole opening for the Usha version, especially because it was my first time working with a chainette yarn, and I was realizing that it was behaving quite differently than the Rasta. So I ended up shortening the overall armhole length, in addition to picking up fewer stitches along the armhole opening. And so what happens is,
so we can do a little side view, so we can see that's where
big change,
nice and snugged up, and that's just a different look. You know, it's not to say that this is a bad look, but everybody's going to choose the look that's right for them.
And if you do choose to knit this pattern, it's purchased through PetiteKnit. We have a little kind of cheat sheet of the modifications that I performed on it, both on the Rasta version and on the Usha version. The thing with the Usha, the trick to being able to do your shorter armhole opening, if that's your option, is make sure when you're knitting this pattern, you're actually knitting from the back down, And you want to make sure that you make your decision to shorten your length in this area where you're simply doing stockinette stitch back and forth. Because once you get to doing the increases, you've lost your opportunity to shorten.
And so just so you can see, like on this gal, right? So there's a lot of real estate before we get to any sort of, you know, situation increases way down here versus on Isla's. Looks like, looks like it was like more like, you know, in this area probably.
And then once you've done the back and you've gone down to the bottom, you'll pick up stitches at the shoulders, and then you'll come down and then you'll join, you'll add in stitches in here. And then once you're at this part, this is your straightaway stockinette section. And again, just like with the back, this is where you're going to want to make your decision to decrease your length. So you'll just do fewer rows. Make sure it matches your back length before you proceed again to the increases in this lower section.
Were you like counting rows for that, or were you kind of like laying it against itself? I mean, just sort of eyeballing it?
I was just kind of eyeballing it. I knew that I wanted to, comparing it to my Rasta Holiday Slipover, I wanted to go about an inch shorter. And so after I did the back length and was happy with that, I was just laying it down flat and kind of doing a match-up for the front and the back.
That makes sense.
And then the only other thing was picking up stitches. I did significantly fewer, almost about half.
Wow.
And then as I bound off, I did so pretty snugly so that it kind of just cinched it all in. And I'm super pleased with the way that it came out.
It feels like you learned so much with this project and the various iterations. I mean, I think sometimes it's the thinking through modifications part that actually helps us develop that sort of strategic thinking with our knits. So it's fun.
And also just working with two very different yarns, the Rasta super bulky versus the
single ply
Usha,
and the Usha super bulky, but the chain.
But it was great to do it in a vest because, you know, less to knit.
No sleeves.
Quick knit up.
So we're gonna switch gears again. So you're gonna get to see the third slipover.
We're back.
We're back again. And I wanted to, again, do the same thing where I show you kind of that split hem, this goldenrod color in the Usha. Wow, it's just a stunner. Such a good color. And here's Isla.
Holiday Slipover number 3.
Charcoal on charcoal.
Charcoal on charcoal, also in Usha. So, yeah, really fun. And just the overall product of this, too, the Usha being a chainette, it's just so light and fluffy that I honestly don't feel like I'm wearing anything. Well, I am wearing
It's just
something,
like a little hug, though, right? A lightweight hug.
It's just a lightweight hug. Whereas the Rasta, and it's the feel and look that I wanted. Rasta's just a heavier, I almost feel like sometimes I'm wearing a little bit of a blanket around me. So
maybe that's what you need when you need extra like snuggling. Come just a little bit closer so they can, And so any modifications on this one based from the other, did you go with the same?
I went with the same exact as the goldenrod with the shorter arm length, and also picking up fewer stitches around the side, and also the fewer rows of ribbing. So the same. Yeah.
So, you know, the other thing that comes to my mind too is the original pattern being written for the 3 strands. And I don't know about any viewers out there, but you know, we deal with a lot of petite knit patterns, and she definitely favors holding multiples. You definitely don't have to hold those multiples as we're seeing here, but also calculating yardage can be kind of weird when you're translating that. And I think, so this one, the sample was knit up with 3, it's a size medium, and it was knit up with like 3 full skeins and like a little bit into the 4th. But when I calculated the yardage for it, it was way more. And it almost made me think, did I mistake my, did I not divide it in half or something? But I swear anyway, it can just be a little bit fussy to make those determinations. It's always good to err on the side of having a little bit too much.
I know that I ended up using 4 skeins of each. I know 4 skeins of Usha. I'm pretty sure 4 skeins of Rasta also. But I also wanted to have, a little bit of a wiggle room.
And you added some length.
And I added length.
Yep.
And so 4 skeins was plenty.
What size are you?
I did an extra small.
Okay.
And yeah, I just really like the feel and the fit.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us for this video. Isla, thanks for popping in, because last weekend, I mean, the reason why we're doing this video is last Sunday, Isla was wearing one of her vests. We'd also, I think, had it just in a newsletter or something, or maybe we just had it this anyway. And it was all day long. People were like, what are you wearing? What is this thing? What did you do differently? Oh, it's different armholes than the mannequin. And so we were like, Isla, you had the good idea. Let's make a video about it. So.
Well, and I think the popularity with this garment is that it is a fairly quick, easy project.
Yep.
No sleeves, big yarn. I chose it because I just wanted to boost my store wardrobe, which, you know, my knitted items that I'm wearing at the store. When I first started working at the Goat, everyone's wearing these beautiful handmade items. And I had one very old hand knit sweater. And so I'm like, all right, I got to do super bulky, sleeveless, catch up with everyone. And hence the mass production of the Holiday Slipover.
Super good.
Which I love. So
your store wardrobe is on point now. Yeah.
So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much. If you like the video, give us a comment, a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, thanks for watching.
And we'll see you in the store.
Bye.
Bye.